Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome here to the South Africa series for the Diploma. This is a multi-series section, as all countries are. And we're on series 5 here, looking at the wine regions, the coastal region, and the Olifants is added on as an extra. We are looking at 8 parts within this series 5. We've already covered Constantia in part 1. We're now looking at Durbanville, and we'll go on to Stellenbosch. These 3 videos are available as free content, but videos 4 all the way through to 8 are available only on my e-learning portal. That's over at winewithjimmy.com. You'll see it at the bottom of the slide. So please go and visit there. There's loads of exclusive video content. Let's start to rock and roll looking at the coastal region. To begin with, just to recap where we are looking at. So we're going within the coastal region, but to the Cape Town district, of which there are 4 wards. But we'll just be looking at 2 of those that we need to look at. And that's Constantia, covered in the last video, and in this one, Durbanville. Now, the Cape Town district is a new district, or a new naming of a district. 2017 it was awarded. And the previous name was called the Cape Peninsula. But Cape Town district is actually trying to link it to this very important city. Of course, therefore able to sort of link it to tourism. And both the wards we're looking at, so Constantia in the last video, Durbanville in this one, are 2 that rely very much on their connection to Cape Town because they're very close geographically. So therefore, they expect a lot of trade to come through Cape Town into these 2 wards. Okay, so let's start looking at the world of Durbanville. So here on the right-hand side, you'll see the map of Cape Town. So this, in fact, is this kind of light pinkish area just here is Table Mountain, and this is Table Bay just here. And this is the whole sprawl of Cape Town. You'll see that we've covered previously Constantia, which sits in that real eastern enclave of the Constantiaberg and the Table Mountain, so just down here. So we've covered that, and it's 10 or so, 9 or 10 wineries in that area. We're now heading to the northern part of Cape Town. Okay, we come to the suburbs of the northern part of Cape Town, and this white dotted area here around the Tygerberg Hills is Durbanville. So as you can see, it's not within the confines of Cape Town, but really in the kind of suburbia part of it as we head down towards the Philadelphia area. So this is about a 20-minute north drive of downtown Cape Town. And it's situated, like I mentioned, in the Tygerberg Hills. You see, I put this down here, which are these wonderful shaly soils. So a lot of the things like Bockerveld shales, for example. And these are on vineyards facing generally east at an altitude of about 100 to 300 meters with the protection of the Tygerberg Hills. There are somewhere around 12 or 13 wine farms found in this Durbanville area, so just a little bit more than Constantia, which was covered in the previous video. Here's another one, and I mean, with the shots you'll see here, the photography of Durbanville, normally the best way to take a picture is from the Tygerberg Hills, looking at a winery, and then in the background have the absolute beautiful Table Mountain you can see here, and the Constantiaberg, which comes down here. And that is such a wonderful, iconic backdrop. It's absolutely beautiful. So spectacular. Now, this is actually looking at De Grendel Wine Farm in the Tygerberg, Durbanville. And we're talking here really to get an idea of the climatic conditions in place here. So rainfall here is actually about half, or just over half, of the amount of Constantia. Remember, we talked about Constantia being around 1,000 millimeters on average. So Durbanville is just over 500 millimeters, which is quite a lot drier. And majorly, that's due to the protection from the protection of the Tygerberg Hills. And unusually, the soils also have quite a high water holding capacity, which allows dry farming. You may have heard of some quite important winemakers here. One of those is the wonderful husband and wife duo of Chris and Suzanne Alhit, who farm some of their fruit from here, but dry farmed Chenin, which goes into their cartology, their famous white. So this is one of their closest vineyards to home, very close to Cape Town, of course. So what more about the climate and weather in this area? So, of course, South Africa, we generally immediately say it's warm, but we know that's not true due to it being such a large, expansive area, certainly the Western Cape, with influences from the ocean and mountain effects. Here, the warm summer weather is mitigated by midday cooling breezes that come up from False Bay. So, of course, False Bay sits in that bit just below Constantia and Cape Town, and then also below Stellenbosch, Somerset West. And you get this lovely cooling air that heads up north, and it will affect this area as well. And that cooling midday breeze happens throughout the afternoon and all the way up till the evening mists roll in. And all of this in combination, so the midday, afternoon cooling breezes and the mists in the evenings, mean that we get a reduction in temperature here by about 5 degrees Celsius. That's around 9 degrees Fahrenheit on average. So it's cooler due to those conditions. What varieties have we got in play here? Now, like most places now, certainly coastal, the key grape variety is Sauvignon Blanc in terms of production numbers. And that's important. It's a great variety, of course, of big identity, but also big commercial importance at the minute. Sauvignon Blanc sells. It's a bit of a cash crop. So it's predominantly grown in the cooler, higher altitude and exposed places. And they have a style generally, but not always, but generally towards a more greener, more pyrazine sort of thiol developed style Sauvignon Blanc. And it accounts for 40% nearly of all the production, as you will see. But then we've got Cabernet and Merlot, just over a quarter of plantation, Syrah at about 10%. Pinotage actually has a bit of a significant part to play there at 7%, and then a bunch of the others as well. There are a number of good producers here. Significant producers include Bloemendaal, Dijmersdal and de Grendal, as well as a couple of the others I put in pictures a little bit earlier. So that is the Durbanville ward complete. Please do join me next for the all-important Stellenbosch, often called the beating heart of the wine industry of South Africa. Please do join me for that video. If you do have any comments, any questions or concerns, we would love to hear from you. If you've been to Cape Town, if you've been to Durbanville, maybe you've took a bike, a mountain bike at the Tygerberg Hills, please do get in touch and talk to me about your experiences of any of your favorite producers or favorite grapes. Do you agree with Sauvignon Blanc leading the way here? Or are you more of a fan of the Bordeaux blends or the Pinotage or the Syrah? And any other sort of comments, any other kind of questions, please do get in touch. And that's on the comments section below this video. You can also use social media. And if you do find yourself in the United Kingdom, please do come and say hello at one of my establishments for a class, a glass, or a bottle. I've been Jimmy Smith. Ciao for now. Goodbye.